Victims of cheating divorce. What did you do to learn how to love yourself and let go? M28 6 years relationship. I'm in the most absurd situation I could have ever imagined. When I discovered my wife had cheated on me, she was in bed with another man when I entered the room F30. She has cheated on me previously as well. I've just filed for divorce. Along with learning how to love being by myself and loving myself, I am working on the things I did incorrectly during the marriage. It has been beneficial for me to read books, exercise, play the guitar, and listen to calming podcasts. Only 6 weeks have passed since the traumatic event, and I am still experiencing grief in waves. Regarding this, I'm feeling resentful and angry. I want the wound to close up, without any love or hate for this circumstance. How are you loving yourself? What did you do, or are you doing, to climb this hill? Redditors reactions update after. Redditor 1, basically same thing happened but reverse 23 F 28 meters. Working out sheltered a puppy for 2 months. Yes, officially shooting range sip and pain Toastmasters stand-up comedy shows. Working on the things on my appearance I didn't like. Redditor 2, I reconnected with friends, met new people and worked on cutting out people earlier on. Most people will tell you the crappy things they did in previous relationships. Make sure to ask and listen when they tell you what they are like. Don't listen to the BS excuses and justifications. People will almost always tell you who they are. Op answer, thank you for the advice. If I am listening correctly, are you saying to listen to now just what they are saying it but how they are saying it? People don't generally ask what someone is like out front. If you literally do that, then that's a powerful statement. Redditor 3, live your life. I can't think of anything better. You live your life and you move on and the feelings dissipate in time. You will find someone else you love and you will find joy in living, and the resentment, anger and hate will move on. You may still be very angry about what happened, but it won't sit in the cockpit of your brain. It'll become a memory that might still make you angry, but is a memory you can dismiss. Oh, and deal with the logistics as rigorously as you can. Don't be one of these saps who tries to be nice to their ex. Take what you legally are allowed, be thorough and guiltless and get what you're owed. Then set yourself up and go be happy, with or without someone who deserves you. Update, divorcing my wife after walking in on her sleeping with another man. 5 years relationship, 2-year marriage nearly 6 weeks ago. This is still relatively recent. Everything began about 10 months ago, when I discovered she had been criticizing me to another guy behind my back. They began spending a lot of time together, and she would never let me join her when she and her co-workers went to the bar. She agreed when I requested to go to therapy. When I discovered that she was seeing this guy in order to show him pictures of her obs, things escalated further. A panic attack struck me. The guy blocked her and severed all contact with her after she ended the friendship, and she cut ties with everyone she knew. We take our honeymoon in the US to Ireland after a month has passed. After 2 years of planning, we were so happy to go. After her period hadn't come in 6 weeks, she discovered she was pregnant. While we were there, we discovered this. She experienced a panic attack and said she worried her new employer might be biased. Particularly for an HR specialist, it makes no sense. I accepted it and said I understood she wanted an abortion for her own good. Additionally, we were not in the best emotional shape as we were only discussing the potential affair my wife may have had. May is rapidly approaching. We had made months-long plans to attend her cousin's graduation celebration. It's about an 18-hour drive away and outside the state. I was unable to attend the graduation because my grandfather passed away a week prior. She didn't want to support me, even though I really wanted her to. After a disagreement over it, we decided to take a break. I moved in with my parents. I call her 2 days later to establish limits. I suggested refraining from vandalism, infidelity, and offensive social media posting. It was all accepted by her. Even concluded with I love you. I wait a week and still receive no communication. It was our second anniversary on May 14th. That is not a fabrication. I return home to surprise her with her favorite flower. The house was cleaner than usual and she wasn't there. If no one is expecting her, she doesn't clean. I walked away from the flower and went to meet up with friends. I had the horriblest feeling that something was wrong. Later that evening, I texted her to check on her and express my continued desire to make everything work. Zero reaction. After failing to reach her on the phone, I went to the house where I saw what had my eyes are ped. I lost it, may have repeatedly hit the man in the face with a deck of cards, threw my ring at her, and then I fled. I am her second husband, and I have always loved her with all of my heart. Even though I'm not perfect, I really tried to make our relationship work. The worst thing I've ever done was to witness that. One day I hope to see it as a turning point to return to improving myself. I want to get better, love myself, and move on, but I want to do it right, slowly, and without looking back. I want to ask you this: was there an experience or set of experiences that helped you get back on your feet? What did you do or are doing to love yourself? Edit. The majority of the advice, such as working out, therapy, hobbies, friends, and work, are all areas of focus I already have in my life, but seeing that it has been successful for so many others inspires me to keep at it. Then a few facts. 1. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I are still together. The house is the only asset, and lawyers are negotiating over it. 2. Since D-Day 6 weeks ago, I have been residing with relatives. 3. In 2022, won't that be a blessing? I got a new apartment, but I won't be moving in for another month. I'm using the advice to remind myself to remain resilient during these trying times. I hope some of you understand that happiness and strength are more of a momentum to keep moving forward than a destination. I want to thank everyone. Redditor's reaction story 2 after. Redditor 1, she probably wanted an abortion because she didn't know who the father was. I'm sorry. Start seeing her for who she is, a serial cheater that was never meant to be your forever person. Get instis done. Look into hobbies, rekindle friendships, talk to people about your situation, don't isolate yourself. Op answer: I had no idea there was a term for it, but that fits the description perfectly. Serial cheater. It is like someone who goes around murdering people's hearts. I will have to say I'm hanging out with so many more friends since D-Day. Life isn't so bad, besides me at 28 back on my parents' couch and waiting to get in my new apartment in a few weeks. See, I've done a lot of those things. Is it just continuing to do it? I've had great times doing hobbies, friends, etc. I still sometimes, when alone, am still going into a pool of grief. The intensity and frequency of the events are declining, but I pray that it leaves me. Redditor 2, brother, you have been destroyed by a horrible person. But what do? You take that anger and rage and sadness and everything else and you focus it on taking care of yourself. Hit the gym like a mother ducking monster, invest into hobbies and read new books about recovery, see a therapist, and if you once believed a God, go to him/her and give up your pain the best you can. Also make new bank accounts and move all the money over into it. Let your work know that she is no longer connected to your insurance and to remove her off your contact info. See a lawyer. If she wants to contact you, tell her to talk to your lawyer only, and if she keeps attempting to talk to you, pull a restraining order on her. Brother, this is the most painful chapter of your life, but through this night you will find that dawn will come and you will feel the warmth of a new beginning and hope for the future again. Just survive the night and it will get better. Op answer: what a powerful statement. Although I can say that I am already doing a lot of exactly every step. Hell, I was atheist for 14 years and just came back to believing in him recently. I took a picture of this message to keep. You made an impact on me. Thank you. Redditor 3, the first thing I would do is ghost her and hire a very strong divorce lawyer. Truth is, you picked a lemon. It sucks, but it's no reflection on you. Maybe the lesson is not to be so accommodating to someone acting like a jerk. In hindsight, and it's easy for me to say I know, but you should have probably dumped her when she was sexing with her friend. The key to not being cheated on is to be ruthless when it comes to red flags. As soon as someone does anything fishy, move on. That's really it though. Look at it like you got involved in fraud. It happens. It was a relatively short period of time in your life. Though it may not feel like it, you will be fine. There are still good people out there, you just have to find one. This too will pass. Op answer: ghosted, check. Attorney, check. I'm the plaintiff in my case. Fortunately for me, I have some family connections. The feelings of lost my house, dog and obvious marriage are all gone, but losing it you find yourself, but I have some way to discover what that means again. I agree with the red flags, ignoring or deflecting them isn't self-love. That is one of the several lessons I'm learning. Story 2, not sure if I can keep it going. Hello to all. I'm just arriving. Just a few days ago, I learned about the affair. That's brutal. In a nutshell, my wife has been a marching band director for a high school for about 3 years when the incident occurred. Grew close friends with her married male boss and had a wonderful working relationship with him. The relationship began to go beyond acceptable limits in the summer of 2021. She was his go-to person for confiding in and venting about his marriage. We were elking, and she enjoyed the emotional closeness. I warned her that if she doesn't act professionally, I'll ask her to quit marching band. She nods in agreement. She struggles to connect with me for months and has conflicting feelings about him. I attribute it to the emotional situation, which is only partially accurate. They had S-time every time they left town, it turned out. After practices or other band-related events, they occasionally had S-time. Over a 9-month period, there were probably 20 or so of these occasions. After the first time, she attempted to stop it and kept it professional for about 4 months in the middle, but in March or April, she made a significant reversal and plunged headfirst into the affair. In an effort to protect his family, he recently made the decision to relocate. I directly questioned my wife once more about any physical contact. She finally tells me everything this time and breaks down. She regrets what she did. She claims he left because she wouldn't abandon me for him. She also shows me a Google Drive containing all of their memories. Even though the majority of the content is fairly innocent, there are a few S-timiting videos and make-out snuggle videos. It is heartbreaking to witness. There are even video journals where she declares her love for him and makes the promise that they will one day be together. She claims that once she told me everything changed. She claims that she once again feels close to me. There are indications that this thing may have life, even though obviously things are not good. On this, I'm conflicted. A part of me desires a divorce and no contact with her. The opposing viewpoint believes that we might be able to bounce back from this stronger than ever. She's been in a relationship where there was real emotional intimacy, and she wants that from us. How can we possibly rebuild this relationship from the ashes of the one she destroyed? What should I do? Our 2 young children are undoubtedly a factor. We've been married for 9 years, just in case you were wondering. Clarification needed. He moved because my wife wouldn't leave me for him. So he made the decision to make an effort to save his family. Redditor's reaction story 2 after. Redditor 1, your plan B, the safety net. If you agree with that, then you can continue the marriage. If you still have more respect for yourself, the answer is clear. She confessed to you and created a connection with you after he left her. Think carefully what you want. Op answer, thanks for the reply. Not sure if it matters, but he 100% would have left his family if she had agreed to leave me. So she was the one that wouldn't go further. Redditor 2, she says he moved because she wouldn't leave me for him. Don't tell me you really believe in this. She's with you because he moved. He got what he wanted and now it's time for him to search for the next target. You identified the affair and gave her the opportunity to end that. Instead, she took it up a notch. You have already given her a chance and she betrayed you again. All those memories that she showed you are the reality of their relationship. No one just says I love you and promise to be together someday. He moved to save his family, and when she was left with no option, she remembered that she has a backup plan and is now ready to work on things. Don't be fooled by her twice. Redditor follow up. This. And I would really like to know if anyone told AP wife about their affair. I have a feeling that WW wanted more, or threatened to tell AP wife and he ran. Redditor 3, her supposed new brutal honesty is still, at best, a carefully edited version of the truth. More likely, it's a mix of lies and half-truths. Honesty that only comes after it's over and done isn't honesty at all, it's crisis management. He left. Then, and only then, she decided she needed to make it work with you. That's the only thing you know for sure. Story 3, my 22 meters cousin had an affair with my wife 31F and confessed it before my wife did. Married with 2 children 5 and 2. So, my wife and I started a business, and I worked there during the pandemic, hiring my cousin and a friend. We'd all start a catering company together. As time passed, my primary source of income reopened, and I was forced to manage it while my wife managed the new business. My cousin and his wife were the only 2 employees of the second business, and they would spend roughly 24 to 26 hours alone in the kitchen or at the point of sale. I went on a business trip in December, and later, my wife admitted that the affair began the day I left, after dropping the kids off with her parents. They had this go on for 3 months at the area of work or my house. I feel doubly betrayed because my parents and I treated my cousin like a child and gave him all the support he could ever ask for. I'm the one who finally admitted it, yet he's the one with whom I'm most irate. In an effort to save our marriage, my wife says she is sorry, willing to make changes, and willing to go to therapy, but I'm not sure if I should stay or go. She seems to have sincere regrets, and she claims to love me, so I would stay behind because I do. I also want to give my children the chance to have a father figure. My hesitation stems from the fact that I'm genuinely unsure of her capacity for change. She has a flirtatious and amiable disposition. And she is quite attractive, to be honest. So that's there. I've been invited to therapy but am in excruciating pain. I'm hoping I can forgive her soon so I can decide whether or not to stay. Story 4. Fiancé has been sending nudes and essing with someone she met online. Hi all. Please excuse any strange formatting. Firstly, a brief introduction. A little more than a year ago, my fiancé F27 and I am 24 connected on Reddit. We first connected on a writing subreddit, took it to Discord, and became inseparable pretty quickly. It was challenging to see each other with COVID because we live in close proximity nations. I finally got to fly over and meet her after waiting a few months. All of my expectations were fulfilled. Fortunately, our jobs make it fairly simple to spend a few months at each other's homes at a time, so even though we live far apart, we frequently see each other. We are attempting to create a life together, and we are serious about it because we need to bridge the gap, so we must be. Recently, my girlfriend has been staying with me. Everything seemed to be going well, but I noticed that she seemed incredibly invested in one online friend she had made through writing. Since she and I both enjoy writing with people we meet online, this isn't particularly unusual for her. Sometimes the story is interesting and there isn't much communication outside of character. Other times, you become friends. That's why I'm saying that it wasn't strange for her to spend time writing this story. However, she would frequently bring him up, and I realized that she also had his phone number and that they occasionally spoke on the phone. She was forthcoming about all of this, or so I assumed he was a really close friend. He was married, so at first I didn't think he had bad intentions. However, I couldn't really explain why something was bugging me. A few nights ago, she dozed off a little tipsy, so I did something I had never done before. I looked through her phone. She had sent him nudes, along with some sex, which I also discovered. Discusses the activities they intended to engage in once they hook up. They discussed how the nudes couldn't stay in Discord and other things, so I know that she is aware that what she did was wrong. My heart broke. She tried to give me a hug when she woke up at around 2 in the morning, but I pushed her hand away, and she realized something was wrong. I confronted her after telling her that I knew the real story about her online friend. She said she was sorry, that she loved me, that it didn't mean anything, and that she emotionally distances herself from the part of herself that turns to writing as a form of escape. I told her that this is more than just writing, but she claims that because she was so immersed in escapism, it didn't matter. She claims that she needed the escape to deal with the significant stress that life was causing her. She was, for instance, extremely anxious about having to be in the same area as her childhood abuser when we attended a wedding. I questioned how she could use this as an escape when it is so obviously harmful to me despite the fact that her stress was legitimate. How she continued to do it for about a month despite knowing that it would be harmful to me and that I wouldn't be okay with it. And only after I caught her did it come to an end. She has no valid justification. When I saw the pictures she had sent him while we were on vacation together a few weeks ago, it really freaked me out. As petty as it may sound, she hadn't even sent me any pictures. The worst part is that while all of this was going on, my stupid ass bought her a ring and proposed to her. I'm a ducking fool. I want to break it off, but I can't because I'm so dang mad, sad, and let down. I forced her to block him on all occasions, but I had the impression that she felt bad only because she had been caught. Because I was unaware, I think she perceived it as a victimless crime. Which is obviously stupid. Furthermore, I undoubtedly learned the truth. Additionally, she adamantly maintains that those conversations were pure fantasy or escape and that they would never have become physical. I really don't buy this. She told me she wanted us to hang out with him at some point before I knew. They both reside in the same country, whereas she and I do not, so what specifically would prevent them from acting in a certain way if he visited her while I was away? She only makes a promise that it wouldn't have happened. When I told 2 of our mutual friends, they both advised me to end our relationship. My decision to stay is risky, I know that. It seems like I'm too stubborn to let this interfere with how life is and what it might once again become. Hopefully, therapy will help us move past this. Help me through my suffering and aid her in working through her essay. I still love her, but I feel terrible when I think about the pictures and sexts. I suppose that more than anything, this is a rant. To anyone going through the same thing, I apologize. All inquiries, suggestions, and remarks are welcome, even if they simply advise me to show self-respect and leave. I'm aware that devoting more time to this could be a grave error. Edit. I appreciate everyone's responses, I'm going through them all now. Since I'm at work, I can't really respond to everyone and, to be honest, there are more responses than I anticipated, haha, but I do appreciate all of the feedback. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, ask for the ring back. Op answer, I did initially take it back when I discovered what was going on. She freaked out when she realized she couldn't find it and freaked out further when I told her I took it back. After our first lengthy discussion I gave it back. I'm taking it back if I break it off, though. Redditor 2, mate, let be honest with you, she was going to do it with him. You know why? Because once a cheater can meet the person they had an emotional affair with, they don't hesitate to make it a physical affair. And you know it too, you just don't want to see it because you want to protect your world, and it's understandable, but reality will prevail no matter what you do. You can't trust her, you can't trust that she wasn't going to have time with him. You will never forget that during the time you proposed and gave her an engagement ring she was sending nudes to this other guy. You will never forget that during your vacation with her she was timiding this other guy. Actions have consequences. She broke the relationship, and it doesn't matter how much you want to fix it and trust her, you know you can't. You should search the sunk cost fallacy and Darvo. Op answer, thank you. You're 1000% right that I'm trying to protect my world, or rather hold together the shards that are ready to just fall to the ground. Just brutal how someone you love, and who you think loved you, can royally demolish you like this. It's so hard to accept. I have never lived through anything like this before. Thank you. Redditor 3, dude, she's a cheater. She showed you her true colors while you're engaged, so at least you have that. She will absolutely do it again. It's not physical because they have not met up. It will be once it happens. Again, man, like I'm all for her in the right circumstances, but if my fiancé can't even pretend to be loyal, I'd dump her fast. Do yourself a favor, don't start a long-term relationship with someone you already know is a cheater. End it. Op answer, I need to hear this. I know it's true, but it's so hard to accept that this happened. Thank you.